Welcome back to BST, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on yet another episode, a disappointing episode, at least to start. We just got done with the two Monday night games, which were absolute snooze fests, but Sunday night football was not. Quite disappointing for us as Packers fans. But we're going to start off with that. Ended in a tie, 40-40. You don't see ties very often. Seems like if you're lucky, one happens every year, and that's not always been the case. But especially, I think what was it? The second highest scoring tie ever.
Why is it every NFL player, when they interview them after a tie, they act like they've never heard of a tie happening in the NFL? I mean, they don't watch?
They pay attention.
I guess they don't, because as fans, you're like, well, one happens every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so I don't even know where to begin with this one. I guess we'll start with the Packers. Obviously, the offense was amazing. Jordan Love played amazing. 337 yards, 3 touchdowns. I said last week the Packers just need to let Love sling the ball a little bit. I thought he got back to that. Certainly there's throws that I think he could have hit early on in the game. Romeo Doubs on like a curl route kind of threw it low and complete. That kind of stalled the drive. And then he had another one, Romeo Doubs, crossing over the middle, kind of sailed it a little bit. Doubs saved an interception, but not a horrible throw, just a kind of fading away and sailed it. But other than that, he was really good. Just precise. I mean, any third down that they needed, seemed to be able to pick it up. Threw the 3 touchdowns to Doubs. And, I mean, Jacobs didn't run the ball. He hasn't had good yards per carry all season. I'm not sure he's going to. This run blocking is so horrid. But we saw him get loose a little bit this game. And certainly there was that like throw to the sideline where Love is running up and he throws it, and that could have been called a run, but they eventually changed it to a pass. So
Did they?
Yeah.
The one?
Yep.
Oh.
So Jacobs was the leading receiver with 71 receiving yards. So he had a good game again, 2 touchdowns. Not much else. I can't speak. Not much else you can say about this offense. Yeah, I mean they were just good.
They played well until the last couple series in overtime.
Well, but you're saying the offense?
The offense, yeah.
But I mean,
the offense was good until then.
But I mean, even in the second half, I think they went like touchdown, and the only 2 field. I mean, and then the field goal to go to overtime. I mean, if you give them more time, they probably score a touchdown, and then the field goal in. So the field goal to go into overtime, I mean, they were driving down the field, and then in overtime, if they had more time, they would have scored. So to me, I mean, they were unstoppable in that second half.
I just saw at the end of the game and the end of regulation, the end of overtime, playing for a field goal. That's what it felt like.
Well,
thinking back to it, just playing for a field goal.
End of regulation, you had to.
I mean, I don't know. They could have. Maybe they could have pushed it.
Left.
Maybe they could have pushed it.
You had 30 seconds left, and you need a field goal.
It's happened.
No, it's ridiculous to say that. I agree in overtime.
I mean, they could have been more aggressive.
In overtime, I agree. Let's talk about that. The overtime. So the Packers win the coin toss, and they defer. So they kick off the ball. A lot of people are saying, was that the right decision? Because that seems to be the consensus right decision. But part of me would have liked to just take the ball and go down and score. And because, I mean, the other thing, too, is if you command the game, have a 9-minute drive, make it, I mean, that's really hard to do. But
yeah,
you open yourself up to that happening. But Dallas drove right down the field, and Parsons was able to get a key we'll call it a sack. It was
It was
barely
no
a
gain.
sack.
It was
But it was a good chase down play
Yeah.
that stopped the touchdown probably.
coming from the opposite side too.
Yeah, and they had to kick the field goal there.
Yeah.
So it gives the Packers a chance, but that
Look,
final drive.
the good defensive plays were easy to think about because there were only like two of them the whole game. Because the one thing we can agree on is there was zero defense played in this game on either side, which was a little bit surprising for the Packers given all the hype. But, the Micah hype maybe masked a little bit of the deficiencies the defense has. If they can't get pressure, these corners are out of position. And I don't know what it was, but it felt like, or I shouldn't say felt like, it looked like their footing was terrible in this game. Like they over pursued, they were falling, they were slipping. I don't know what it was. They couldn't tackle when I'm talking Green Bay. They couldn't tackle when it appeared they were in position. They just missed a lot of tackles. They couldn't get pressure on Dak, and make no mistake, as much as it pains me, credit to Dallas and to Dak. I mean, they had a great game plan. They schemed well for Micah. They, ran away from him. They doubled him. I mean, but how many snaps did he play? I don't even know, because it felt like there were a lot of snaps that he missed in the game. But when he was in, he had 8 pressures,
something like that,
8 pressures, 1 sack, whatever. But there was no defense played on either side. Each quarterback sat back and just kind of played really comfortable back there, and their stats are very close. I mean, what was their QBRs? Oh, I mean, Dak had a 94 QBR. Jordan Love had a 58 QBR. A 118 rating for Jordan Love and a 124.9 for Dak.
Yep.
So, probably comes down to a little bit more, I guess, probably percentage, right?
Yeah,
on that.
Dak's
I don't know.
completely
I don't know how they
better.
calculate that shit.
Me neither.
But anyway, yeah, it was disappointing. I mean, you put up 40 points, you expect to win games.
Especially with this defense.
Dallas would say the same thing. Cowboys fans would be like, yeah, we scored 40, we should win. Although they're kind of like, well, it takes 40 to win because Dallas's D hasn't been good.
Average Cowboys game. This shouldn't be the average
Think
Packers
about
game.
this, though. And here's the thing. Every time Green Bay and Dallas plays, there's always something dramatic. The playoff game a couple years ago was maybe the exception to that rule where Packers got such a lead, but then, it got a little tight there at the end. I mean, Dallas kind of scored and Packers didn't really do much with the ball. It never was in jeopardy, but it made us nervous because they got it to 16, got it to 2 scores with 5 minutes or something, and you're like, okay, guys, let's put them away. Besides that game, you think back to it, and it's like, the year before Rodgers, it was that year Rodgers snapped his collarbone against the Vikings. It was the week before they engineered a game-winning drive right at the end to beat them. They have that playoff game a number of years ago where they hit Jared Cook on, or is it Jared Cook?
Yep.
Yeah, Jared Cook on the sideline, kicked the winning field goal. You've had so many games where it's come down to something like this, and so it's not that shocking, but I just expected a little bit more out of Green Bay, especially that front four. I just thought they'd be able to get pressure on them, but Dallas played inspired football. Green Bay played a little bit, I don't know. I mean, on offense, felt inspired. It felt like they had some plays. They overcame a strip sack. So we lost the turnover battle, tied the game. So, there's some takeaways there, but defense has to clean it up.
I think arguably you could say they lost the turnover battle by 2-0 because to me the block kick. Yeah, the block PAT is a turnover.
The NFL. I say this to you all the time, and you roll your eyes, but it's it is a week to week league, and it is a momentum. It is a momentum league, and you see it all the time where a momentum play just changes the tide. Not just in Packer games. I know, we're seeing it mostly in Packer games. Well, because those are the ones we care about. Everywhere else, we're maybe not noticing it as much because we're just wanting good, close games when we're watching other teams. But this momentum swing that 2-point conversion gave to Dallas was tremendous. It was like Green Bay was controlling it.
Well, that's
early.
what I'm worried about with Green Bay. They have no resiliency. It's like they carry their momentum. They start off these games so hot, and then as soon as just something goes wrong, it's like the sky is falling, and the team doesn't know how to respond, and it's disastrous.
Matt LaFleur often coaches not to lose. He often coaches not to lose.
Well, it's ridiculous. We dominate these games, and the scoreboard never reflects it. Like
we call bubble screens at the wrong time. Jordan Love, I mean, in that final possession of overtime for Green Bay, Jordan Love needs to throw that ball at the feet of Emmanuel Wilson. Like don't. Was it Wilson?
That is. Are you saying on the check down?
Yeah, the check down. Don't take a check down in that situation with the clock running.
Agree.
Just throw it at the feet. Just have that awareness. I understand. He's not forcing the ball. He didn't throw the pick. We were totally thinking we were going to see a game-ending interception because that has kind of been
the norm.
Well, and I don't know if it's the norm. It's just what stands out. What every media player media presence wants to talk about is how much Jordan Love turns it over.
Legitimately, in these scenarios, historically, he has thrown a pick.
He has, right. We go back to the 49er game where in the playoffs 2 years ago, felt like we controlled most of that game, made the plays, and then that adversity came, and the reaction was hero ball. At least with Jordan Love, I mean, Jordan Love stepped up in a few key possessions, and I mean, all of them were key because it was a shootout. Like we weren't stopping Dallas, they weren't stopping us. It was kind of like who's going to have the ball at the end is what it felt like.
Yep.
And it just so happened that it felt like, Green Bay is going to get this ball at the end, and we're going to score. And we scored too quickly.
Yep.
And gave them a minute 30 with all their timeouts or whatever it was, and they easily came down and scored. Fortunately, they scored fast to give us some time to get in field goal range. But that's what I'm saying. Jordan Love, I mean, he engineered the game tying drive in the fourth quarter at the end, which historically he's thrown some bonehead or Favre'd it a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Hero ball that Favre. I mean, Favre would come through a lot. That's justifiable.
Yep.
And the fan base didn't care. Nowadays, I don't think you can get away with it. But he came through there, and let's talk about overtime, wasn't it? 4th and 6.
Yep.
4th and 6. I mean, in that overtime possession, I mean, nothing seemed to be going right, and he hits Golden for 15 yards or so.
Something
and
like
I mean, so he made the plays when he needed to make the plays. The thing he needs to clean up is just that hurry up, clock's running, situational awareness, and it didn't appear to just be Jordan Love. It appeared to be the whole offense.
Well, that's what's very confusing. I don't understand.
That's what's kind of strange because I know, and a lot of the guys were saying this on every show I watched today. LaFleur had Aubrey in his head, right? Because Dallas's kicker Aubrey can just hit it from 100 yards. I mean, it seems like this guy can hit from anywhere on the field. So you score too quickly, you give it back to them.
Fair.
2 plays. I mean, who knows? They don't have to go very far. I mean, plus you're kicking off to Turpin, right? And so that dude's fast and good. You don't know where he's going to return the ball. So you could kick off to Turpin, and he's already in Aubrey's field goal range. So maybe that was in the back of LaFleur's mind. I don't know. But you know what? In that situation, just go score a touchdown.
Yep.
And you don't have to worry about it. So get down there and score a touchdown. But yeah, anyway, we're damn lucky that the Dallas clock operator, who's probably looking for a new job, didn't click it one more time to get it to zeros.
It's genuinely shocking that he didn't you realize how precise, he literally,
yeah. I mean,
all you had to do was just be like, whoops, I'm a bit late.
Oh, and zeros. Yeah. Nobody would have overturned it. The refs would have been like, game's over. And we'd have a much different conversation this morning saying, what the hell? Because I'm kind of still saying what the hell, because the way that they went to the line with 12 seconds, it looked like they were just going to get up there and spike the ball and kick the field goal.
I don't really get it. Maybe that's what I think. Part of me wonders if the whole team thought that's what was happening, was they were going to spike and kick the field goal.
Boy, because there was no urgency to get up there. And But I don't think so because they ran routes. Those receivers ran routes.
Well,
on the
I'm
snap.
wondering if they. I don't know.
I don't know what
that's inexplicable. It doesn't make sense.
That is the big question. That's a concern right there.
Because LaFleur says they were going to take a shot. Jordan seemed to thought they were going to take a shot, but everybody else on the offense seemed to think it was a spike or something.
I need to go back and watch that end possession and figure out when did they use that first of 2 timeouts? Like when did they use it?
I think it was right after the golden play.
Right after the golden play at 4th and 6th?
No.
Or
like
which
one?
Like
the one...
The bubble screen?
Like the flat route that they threw that got blown up.
That blown up? Okay, because then... So they called that... They already had 2 at that point? Because...
Oh, let's see. I can...
Go to the... Because I'm trying to figure out when they called the timeout. Will it tell us? Yeah, because it was like 7-yard run.
Yeah, I think it was right after that. Yep. So I called the timeout. Yep, timeout right there. So it was right after...
Timeout number 2 was done there.
But you only get 2 timeouts.
Yeah, when was the first timeout taken?
Oh.
Sorry, when was the first one? Like, what was the play that they burned?
Way early.
That they burned their first timeout on?
Before the 4th and 6.
Before the 4th and 6. Okay. So that's when they did that on... I mean,
Which
okay.
makes sense.
It makes sense.
You
I
gotta
just
have your
I just
best
was
play.
curious when they did that. And okay, they used their first of 2 timeouts right then. Okay. Had they had another timeout, that would have been key, but I get it. So yeah, the bubble screen though was you like we
it's a
talked
better
about.
play by Diggs than I think
Yeah.
the play call is good because
It was
if you look at it, you have 2 blockers on Diggs and then you have Golden. That I mean, I'm not going to blame that on Jordan Love. The look is there. That's exactly what you're looking for in that play. You have 2 guys block 1 corner and your speedy wide receiver in space.
Was the operation a little slow though? Do you think it was a
thought
slower
fine.
operation? Okay.
I thought he got it out perfectly, and I think Diggs just read it really well, and I don't think Dobbs was expecting Diggs to just because I mean if that's like a play where it's a fake it and then Dobbs is releasing, it's probably a touchdown.
Yeah.
So Diggs just took a gamble and he won, and then the dump off, the check down was puzzling, but I mean I get it. It's not puzzling if you hurry up,
you know,
and 10 seconds are on the clock and you snap it with 12, and then you have you probably get 2 shots at that point, maybe to get a shot at the end zone. But instead they snap it with 6 seconds left, barely get very lucky that the ball hits the ground in time, and then they kick the field goal.
After the 4th and 6 conversion, you know, we moved it on the ground. We were just moving. We're getting 10-yard plays, 10-yard play, 12-yard play, whatever it was. It felt like we were just moving, and then all of a sudden we get down there, and then our play calling got kind of weird. And yeah, you know, but yeah, Diggs blew up one play. You had to burn your timeout, and then at that point, I think you're still okay. At that point, I think at that point you're calling plays that take you to the end zone or throw away, not hit another check down in the field of play where he can't get out of bounds. I think that's the thing. So, you know, poor decision probably by Jordan Love right in that moment, but. What we have to remember, and you hate this too, is that they are still the youngest team for the 3rd year in a row. They're still the youngest team in the NFL. I understand. And because of that, they haven't grown up yet. They need to grow up. They need to figure out
now.
They need to figure out how to close out games. But the problem is when you keep building these teams with these young players, like when are we going to keep a core? But players
the thing is,
that can close games.
They're young, but they're experienced.
They are.
And the other thing I hate about the youngest team argument is the difference between the youngest team and the oldest team is like 4 years.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience too, though. And I think there's just a maturity to it. And I think the problem with the Packers, this Micah hype has been so big. Hopefully now it can just be like, whatever. The Dallas game's out of the way. And I think that was the biggest thing from the get-go. It was like, 5 weeks, circle your calendar. And guess what Dallas did? They freaking circled their calendar and said, okay, everyone thinks we're going to get boat raced. Everybody does. So, I mean, that was like a pride game for Dallas. I think it really was. I think Dak was super motivated. All he'd heard was that like Micah's gonna sack his ass the whole game, and I think the line played inspired ball. I think I go back to that Brett Favre, father passes away the next game, and those he threw balls that you're like. Half the time the stuff he threw up is normally intercepted, and for some reason those receivers that game, I mean, Donald Driver talks about it. He got them all together and said nothing hits the ground tonight. Like nothing hits the ground tonight. And I mean, guys made plays that I don't think I ever saw him make a play after that.
Yeah.
I mean, Ferguson, I don't know if you remember that old. I don't know if you were born yet.
Heard
You
the
weren't
name.
born yet, but Ferguson, I can't even. I think it was Robert Ferguson. Robert Ferguson was catching these crazy balls in that game, and you're like, he never does that. But I think that's like where the team came together, and I mean, I get it when it's Favre and it's his dad passes away. It's like it's a hey, play for a guy. I think that Dallas team. Give credit to Schottenheimer, man. Like, he got them ready to play, and I think they were like, well, you know what? These guys think they're just going to come smack us around. We'll show them. And, I think they kind of did.
The problem I had with that is I thought Dak played well. Don't get me wrong.
Dak did play well.
But I also think we made his life so incredibly easy in that game. We could not get any pressure on him.
We didn't execute.
I don't want to hear no Cowboys fan saying Micah played bad in this game. Go watch the tape. He didn't play bad. Almost on every play, you have to send a double team, and that's exactly why you shouldn't have gotten rid of him, because you have to send a double team every time at him to stop him. And there were a few plays he probably should have sacked Dak. He probably should have had a strip sack on Dak. So I don't want to hear any of that about Micah. This game's not about Micah. He played well.
Well,
even though
the fact that no.
The game is about the other guys on the line. Where's Gary? Where was he? He can't win his one-on-ones. Where's Van Ness? He can't win his one-on-ones. We have Wyatt exit the game early. He might be our most important player at this point, because after that, we were screwed.
Well, and here's the thing. It goes back. Everything you're saying I agree with and is correct. And it actually makes our case against Jerry's comments, because it's a defense of 11 players. Mm-hmm. And the same stuff was happening when he was a Cowboy. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't look at Parsons and think that his time in Dallas was like horrible at all. I mean, he's still right there with Reggie White doing the most number of sacks through 4 years. Yep. Like on pace with right in the company of Reggie White, right? And so it's really more so the supporting cast. Like everyone that plays against Micah Parsons is trying to double him, chip him, run away from him, do those things. For Jerry to say, oh, we can stop the run, and that's on Micah. Well, it's like Micah's a pass rusher, okay? Yeah. I get it. He also can make tackles, but the other supporting cast, those interior defensive linemen, they've got to be run stoppers on the interior. The linebackers have to be run stoppers. Those edge rushers, you're go hunt. That's what you're telling them to do. Hunt that quarterback. Hunt that ball carrier, right? So it's everybody focuses on Micah, and it's like if a defense doesn't work out, one player is to blame. And it's like, no, Micah played well in this game, in the snaps that he played, which I felt like was less than half the snaps. But like, where was everybody else? I know Wyatt went down, but like Van Ness, there were several plays where he was just looked lost, didn't know what to do, was just biting for every play action or misdirection. But you got to credit Dallas. They ran the ball, so it took care of that pass rush. The Packers need to do a better job of tackling and stopping the run and getting them to long, down and distance. But look at third downs. I think Dallas was 4 of 11.
Well, that's the thing. The Packers didn't have any negative plays. Like Dallas always moved the ball forward.
Yeah, there were very few negative
I think we
plays.
had one tackle for loss. And even on that sack by Micah, it was like a gain of nothing. So it's just they needed to, because like the Packers had numerous negative plays in this game offensively. They were able to overcome them, but this defense works when the pass rush is getting pressure. Because let's not get it twisted. These corners stink. They are bad corners. And I don't want to hear no Packers fans saying that they're not. they're good when the pass rush is going and they can sit on routes and make pass breakups and the quarterback is get the ball out early. But if they have time, they're going to pick this team apart. Nate Hobbs is garbage. Garrington Valentine is garbage. Keyshawn Nixon is garbage. They don't want to play. I mean, especially Nixon. What is he doing on that play?
There's that. I mean, credit Dak. I mean, he had that, what it looked like he was throwing the ball away. And you know what? I honestly think that's what he was trying to do, was throw the ball away. Still. But I think he also recognized, I think he saw Tolbert out there and thought, okay, I'm going to throw it that way. It's either going to go out of bounds or he's going to catch the ball. And Nixon just watched him do it. I mean, in that play, it was just
horrible.
There was no awareness of what was going on, and you know, I don't know what it was, and that we're damn lucky Parsons sacked Dak to ultimately stop that touchdown from happening, because when they caught it at the 5, I thought, well, it's done. Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to score a touchdown just to tie, and you know, but anyway, it just. Yeah, it was honestly, if we hadn't been fans of like Packer fans watching this game, I would have loved to have seen it. Two teams that I didn't care about do this. This was probably very entertaining.
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
I mean,
game.
I can say it was, you know, I think once the emotion drains and you have some time to think about it, it was a fun game to watch. It was a fun game to watch. It was a frustrating game to watch, so
just
probably more so than fun, just because. Yeah, when you're coming into town and you're the hype is there, you're kind of like, eh.
Well, it's a game that didn't make sense.
Yeah,
there's no reason that this defense should allow 40.
And it's a week-to-week league. I mean,
this is so concerning going forward. This is like extremely concerning.
I'm not going to panic yet. This is September.
I'm not panicking. I'm just saying, like,
yeah. I mean,
this is in us. Like this. I didn't think this would be in us all season.
But there's some hiccups that every team has throughout the season. I mean, it's a fun. Every fan knows this, right? I mean, it's 17 games, right? And it's a short, long season, right?
But what is Philly gonna do this D line? They're gonna destroy us.
That's depends on what week. It's week to week, man. I mean, but that's the truth though, because you never know. I mean, look at Buffalo. They were a 16.5 point favorite at home against the Saints.
They won.
I understand, but they did not really distance themselves till late in the fourth.
They won. The Packers did.
But the Saints went in there and gave Buffalo all they could handle.
The winning teams win, and the Packers are now 0-1 in teams that are against teams that they should have won. You win 2 games against 2 contenders, and in these 2 games, good teams win these 2 games, and you are 0-1. I don't care about spreads. I don't care how they look. The Eagles are 4-0. Do they look good? No, but guess what? They're 4-0. The Bills are 4-0. Did they look great against Miami? No. Did they look great against New Orleans? No.
But they're 4-0. That doesn't matter though. I mean,
it does matter.
That I understand. I understand your point, but
it's going to matter when it comes down to playoff time and we're going on the road somewhere because we lost to the Cowboys. We tied the Cowboys, lost to Browns.
But I feel like you learn more in defeat than you do in victory, okay? When you're in victory all the time, you get complacent and you don't work on the things that need to work on.
Coaching.
Okay, but these are things that the coaches can take, and if they do their job the way they should,
did we learn anything though? Because we should have learned a hell of a lot against the Browns.
We haven't played our next game. It's September.
All I'm saying,
I don't give a shit what they do the first 8 weeks. I want them hot the last 8.
I agree.
That's what I want. If this was happening in the last 8, panic. Hit the button, panic. This is in the first 8 weeks. I don't give a shit. It's in September.
But I'm saying week 6, if we're flat week 6 off the bye,
then
I'm panicking.
Okay.
Because I'm done with LaFleur at that point. Because if we are going into week 6 against the Bengals and we have more false starts, more pre-snap penalties, if we have drops, anything, if the defense ain't playing well against the Bengals who just lost 28-3, I am done with LaFleur at that point.
I think you need to go watch that old Aaron Rodgers video of RELA.
Okay, nope.
Relax.
No.
Okay?
No,
Relax.
you cannot say if we don't show signs of improvement against the Bengals, this team is doomed.
Well,
Because it means they've learned nothing.
We're dealing in what ifs right now.
But I'm saying, that's our landmark here. If they do not go out against the Bengals and just utterly dominate, that is a problem. And if they're the same signs show up, that is a problem. Because that means you will have a week and more time, 2 weeks to prepare, and not have these same problems. And if they show up again, what is this coaching?
Well,
Rich Bisaccia needs to be fired. Well, by the way,
yeah, I mean,
I have to get that one off my chest.
There's some bad, special teams has a lot of work. Special teams needs to clean it up.
They've been needing to clean it up for a decade.
I know you can't have 2 block kicks back to back. Week.
Yeah, do you learn nothing? That ruined the game last week. You lost the game because of it, and then the same thing happens.
Yeah.
What do we not practice this?
Well, and
it's ridiculous.
Maybe it comes down to Gutekunst. Has he not got a good line? I mean, or we've let too many linemen go? I don't know.
I tell you what, Nate Hobbs and Aaron Banks, 2 worst signings this offseason. I can tell you that for free. Yeah. Aaron Banks can't even stay on the field. And Nate Hobbs looks like the worst corner in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I can't
praise him for Micah Parsons. Why did we sign those 2 guys? They look like passengers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They got a lot of work to do on that side, but I think it's four games into the season. I know. End of the season, you look back and you're like, man, if we only would have won that game and not tied, we'd be this seed, whatever.
I think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, the Packers are not going to win the Super Bowl this year. They're not.
Or ever.
No, they're not going to win it this year. They're not going to win it this year. There's still some pieces that need.
They're never going to win it.
Okay, well,
it's never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you just don't want to be. You don't want to get your hopes up. I understand. That's why. But
tell me right now, you truly believe in the next 4 years of Micah Parsons' contract, they're going to win the Super Bowl?
I think they can. I think they can. I think they can.
I do this to myself every year, and I just can't anymore. I can't physically take the pain.
I think they can. I think they can. I mean, I don't know enough to say I can't guarantee anything.
Fair.
I don't think any fan's going to guarantee it. I mean,
unless you're a Chiefs fan.
No, I think they can. But I think we're still some pieces away. I think we need to still see what Matthew Golden's going to turn into. What can Wicks be? What can Dobbs be? I mean, Dobbs appears to be kind of separating himself a little bit. I mean, he's clearly Jordan Love's go-to right now. He looks for Dobbs. I think the Packers probably should try to sign Dobbs. I don't know if they will.
All I'm hearing is they won't.
They won't. For some reason. I don't know why. He's come through. Maybe he's just not a personality fit with the Packers. I don't know. He's had that weird thing last year where he didn't show up to practice and whatever. Let's see. I mean, Jaden Reed's not coming back this year. I'm sure. I mean, there's a possibility, but
I think late in the year he could.
Maybe. But I mean, I know people probably kill me in the comments for saying this because, injuries are never an excuse. I get it. Everybody's dealing with injuries. But, I'd love to see the Packers 100%. If they have all their pieces.
But they just scored 40.
I know. But I'm saying if they had all their pieces and there was nothing for us to say well, yeah, but if this person came back, if we just had 100% on both sides, what do we look like? I don't know because we never have it. Watson never is healthy, right? Watson gets hurt fast. If we had Watson, Dobbs, Reed, Wicks, Golden, I mean, got some weapons there. If we had Musgrave that could actually play, I don't know if he can play. I just think
Musgrave's a bad tight end. I don't think he's very good.
Probably needs. Yeah. I mean, Tucker Kraft's clearly the one, but let's scheme stuff. Why can't LaFleur figure out plays or figure out who is the guy to scheme it up?
Because I don't think they exist right now.
And maybe that's true. And maybe they're finding out Golden. I mean, they targeted Golden more in this game than any game. But let's scheme some plays for them.
Think of all the teams that have their go-to. When you need to play for years, when Kansas City won those Super Bowls.
As a Packer fan, we cannot be complaining about not having a go-to when we had Adams for all these years.
No, but I'm talking about this team. I'm not talking about historically. I'm saying, look at the Chiefs when they won their Super Bowls. Big third down. Where is the ball going? It's going to Kelsey on the crossing route, and he's going to run for 20 after.
Yeah.
Brady, he's going to hit Gronk.
Who's Josh Allen's? Josh
Allen's just a run.
Josh Allen's
himself.
Yeah.
Going to get the ball.
Josh Allen's Superman.
Who's out on the Packers right now? I know Golden caught the fourth down, but it's like there's no consistency. There's nothing that LaFleur in the play sheet can be like, this is the play.
It feels like to me, in LaFleur's mind, I think he showed it yesterday. If he's going to scheme up a play, now in his mind, this year, this season, it's Dobbs and Golden.
Yeah.
I think that's where he's looking. And I still, I know you don't like him, but I do think Dontavian Wicks, there's something about Wicks that I think he's shifty. He is... I just don't know if he's ever going to get the chance to show it, but I just feel like he is a great route runner, and he's catching the ball this year.
I just need somebody on this team to just take over. I need it to happen because I cannot stand just the anticipation of where it's going to go. Like, I need somebody to step up.
It's funny because we're Packer fans, but we watch the games like we're not fans because we can't tell you where the ball's going.
No,
we're never
insane.
I mean, for years it was it's Jordy Nelson, then it was, it was, I mean, you think back in the annals of time with Favre, even, Favre had Antonio Freeman. First he had Sterling Sharp for a couple seasons. I'm sure he was, I was a little young when that was happening, but, Sterling Sharp, then it was Antonio Freeman, but Antonio Freeman was nowhere near Sterling Sharp, but it was like a go-to guy. He had Mark Chmura, he had Robert Brooks, he had, a couple of these guys that were pretty decent, but not really Pro Bowlers, perennial Pro Bowlers. In comes Greg Jennings, and then Donald Driver became one late for Favre, and then part of Rodgers' career. There was those guys that was your go-to. But really for Rodgers, it was Jordy Nelson then Devontae Adams.
Yep.
That's really where it was. It was like, hey, you're going to get a play. That's where it's going. It's like Matthew Stafford. Where the hell is he going with the ball? We know it's going to Puka.
Yep.
And then if it's not going to Puka, he's got Adams. So it's like, okay, how the hell do you beat that?
But I think that's
we don't know where it's going.
I don't think but there's just not a guy on this roster who's at that level.
And that's why we're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. But I think, okay, could there be a guy? You drafted Golden's to be the guy. So in his rookie season, it's not likely he's going to do that. No. Emeka Egbuka for Tampa Bay is playing really well right now. Rookies, tend to play pretty well. Then they kind of hit that little plateau at the end of the season where, oh crap, we're playing more than we do in college, and I'm not used to that. So there's a little bit of a wall that they hit. So Golden, he hasn't gotten off to a great start, but he's in an offense where they just spread the ball around a lot. And that's a great thing to have where a defense comes in and says, who am I going to have to shut down? But then it's a detriment sometimes because then we're like, who can separate themselves and make the key play? And we just don't know.
It's like Dobbs is there sometimes, but then it's just like, I don't know.
Dobbs has made a lot of critical catches for the Packers these last few years, which is weird that they don't seem to want to sign him. And they already signed Watson. And I feel like Dobbs has Dobbs been on the field way more than Watson, so he's had way more opportunities. So it's not really fair to compare, but I don't know. I don't know what is going on behind the scenes that they don't think Dobbs is a fit for some reason.
Either.
Because Jordan Love sure seems to think Dobbs is a fit.
I agree. But
Anyhow.
Shout out to George Pickens. He toasts our corners. Probably deserves to be a 1 somewhere.
George Pickens made a catch in that game that
was
unbelievable.
The go ball,
Just an unbelievable catch. Just just a crazy catch that he made. I mean, yeah, he cooked us. He absolutely cooked us. And I mean, Dak cooked us. I mean,
Dak is silently playing like the MVP.
Dak is playing, but here's the thing I will say. What we saw out of the Cowboys is the same thing we've seen out of Cowboys for many of the seasons under Dak. When Dak's been there. Dak's always kind of played at this level. He's always thrown for a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, and he gets into these shootouts. And that offense, nobody was disputing starting the season that Dallas wasn't going to be good on offense. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, if CeeDee played, God, the way we weren't stopping shit. Maybe that is where Dallas blows us out. I don't know, but boy, CD not being in there didn't seem to stop him, and so that's hats off. They were inspired. They played well. I heard a couple people say that both teams played so well that this was a great way to just end the game in a tie, but those never sit well. We're gonna have that ugly looking thing the whole season.
They should just change the rules.
There's got to be something that could change it up so that you can make sure there's some kind of sudden death component without it going another 2 hours. I really think the NFL needs to look into some of what college does, figure that out. Whether that's them starting at the 50 and switching off. Nothing's timed except the play clock. And, you go until you don't score, or just play it like college.
Ties are for soccer. This is real football.
Well, and why not do the 2-point conversions or something? Or, okay, you get the ball at the 10, you could do the 50, instead of starting at 25, start at the 50. Because then, you're sort of in field goal range. That's same with college. You're in field goal range to start.
Yep.
And the goal is to score touchdowns. But you start at the 50, you work yourself into field goal range, or you get a touchdown or whatever. And then if it goes more than 1 or 2, then ball at the 10, one play. And
fair.
Got to score. You got to score a touchdown or whatever it is, right? And I don't know. There's a way they could do it just to get rid of the tie.
I agree. Maybe just make it a 15-minute period.
Or just make it 15.
Just make it another quarter, and then you give the teams a little bit more time to kind of decide things. I'm fine with how it is. Each team gets a chance, and it's just normal football. It just something needs to change so we don't have this ugly extra game on the record. But yeah, shout out to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
screw
hats
Jerry
off
Jones.
To him. Well, Jerry said, I don't know. Here's the thing. The thing is this, and this is the reality both ways. If the Packers would have come in and blown out Dallas, it wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, the trade was why, or in the inverse. If Dallas would have won this game, oh yeah, see, we were justified in getting rid of Micah. The fact is that for Jerry to come out and say that it was worth spending for Dak but not for Micah is the dumbest statement ever, because it's Jerry's fault that he could have had all three, probably cheaper without even really sacrificing too much of the future and being able to still build a team around them. He could have done things better with Dak and CD and had money available for Micah, and he didn't do it. So he's never going to admit that he's wrong, and whatever. It is what it is. It's all entertainment for Jerry. As long as we're talking about the Cowboys, Jerry is winning. And you know what? And Jerry's winning. So he's winning.
The best point I heard all day, I can't remember who said it, but they were like, every game the Cowboys put up 40 on offense and don't win makes the trade worse for Jerry. Because it shows you this offense is, I'm not going to say Super Bowl caliber, but it's certainly playoff caliber. And this defense is not. It's quite possibly the worst in the league. So you can only imagine if he had Mike in this game what he would have done to the Packers O-line, because it is not good right now with its depleted state.
Yeah. Dallas's backups played a lot better on the line.
Oh, yeah. They played phenomenally against our guys who just can't do anything. Go figure. Never show up in big games. I'm used to it defensively. But yeah, What a weird game. Leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Nobody likes to see that. But yeah, that is it for your edition on this podcast tonight.
Right.
I think it's past your bedtime.
It is.
So I'll be resuming here in just a moment. But yeah, that's our Packers reaction for today. Quick audible here. We got the number one Jackson Dart supporter of all time to come talk the Giants game. Giants with the upset, 21-18 over the Chargers. Definitely a game that I did not think would happen. What are your thoughts?
Jackson Dart is the GOAT. He's the future.
He had 111 yards.
He did what we needed him to do.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this game's
His first NFL game ever, by the way.
Okay. For his first game, I thought he played decent, but let's not act like he lit up the Chargers here with like 300 yards, 3 touchdowns.
He had a 96 rating.
Yeah, but like this game is on the defense. You picked off Herbert twice. You had your D lineman pick him off, almost return it for a pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the offense came up short, really. They had their opportunities to make this game even worse, and they didn't.
Who?
The Giants offense.
Oh, the Giants offense. Well, yeah, we turned it over at the goal line.
Yeah.
Wanda Robinson can't catch.
I love Jackson Dart. It's infinitely better than watching Russell Wilson. But, like, let's pump the brakes here a little bit. Like,
No.
Who do you play next week?
Saints.
He should put up some numbers against the Saints.
He should.
Because if he doesn't, are you panicking? But now you don't have Neighbors. I mean, that's a brutal blow.
We didn't have him for over half the game.
Ban MetLife. Get rid of the turf. It's horrible. Every player gets injured on it. Neighbors is just yet another to fall. Now he's done for the season. Now who do you even throw to? You have Slayton. Slayton's not even good.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
He's solid.
Yeah, he's solid. Who else do you have? Theo Johnson. Wandale Robinson. Daniel Bellinger.
Scattered.
You do have Scattaboo. But, I mean, he didn't even play that good in this game.
Yeah,
but Dart is kind of a dual threat.
You're just a box score watcher. He played great.
Oh, so he's just got stuffed too many times. The O-line couldn't block for him. But he played good otherwise.
Yeah, he broke a couple long runs and then just got to the point where he ran it every play, so they knew it was coming.
I mean, that's the thing about Dart, though. Dual threat, can run the ball a little bit, so that kind of brings a new wrinkle in the offense. I mean, should the Chargers be kind of worried now?
No.
I mean, Herbert had an off game, definitely puts a hit to his MVP season. Hampton broke out, but only 12 carries. Is Quinn Johnson a wide receiver 1 now? Like, he's had consistently 4 good weeks of football.
Like fantasy GOAT.
Do you have him? Like, he is actually playing really good. Yeah. I don't even know what else. Do you have any other closing statements about the Giants? Realistically, what is the Giants' record now at the end of the season with Jackson Dart?
7-10.
Realistically, 7-10. What is Jackson's? What do you anticipate his performance will be by the end of the season? Like on a F to A scale.
For a rookie? Or
just like in general as a quarterback.
A+.
A+.
Wait, in terms of like,
how is he going to perform?
A+.
You really think
for
so?
being a rookie in his first year?
Without Neighbors, though?
Yeah.
I think he was doing much better early in the game, and the Neighbors went out and kind of fell off.
It's also the Chargers defense.
Fair, they're good. I mean, now, but also you got to think like Dable. Dable's job is saved, probably.
For now.
You see how happy he was at the end of the game?
Yeah.
I mean, he was like ecstatic. But yeah, all right. Thank you for joining for the Giants weekly update. We'll resume in just a moment. All righty, everybody. Let's finish up this week's slate of NFL games. We've just covered the Packers game with my father and then the Giants game with my brother. Very enthusiastic stuff from him about Jackson Dart. I wanted to get to the Eagles game. Pretty thrilling game, if we're being honest. Ended up 31 to 25 in favor of the Eagles. Eagles jumped out the gate early. Looked like they built off momentum from that Rams game last week. Let's see what they were up at one point. Let's see here. Let's see. What were they up at one point? Their largest lead was 24-3. Yeah, 24-3. And that was just before halftime. And at half it was 24-6. So Eagles looked like they were controlling. Jalen Hurts had his best start to a game probably, and in the second half just imploded really bad. I think Jalen Hurts went 0 for 8 with obviously no yards through the air. Just I really want to defend Jalen Hurts because he's a Super Bowl champion. But, man, like, I get it. They're 4-0, but this is not sustainable. This is really bad. You cannot go 0 for 8 in the second half and have 0 passing yards and expect to win every game. You just can't. And Barkley right now, he got off to a really good start last year, has not so far this year. Teams are really keying in on him. This just isn't the same offense we saw last year. Last year they got away with it with Barkley running all over the place, getting those long touchdowns. Hurts didn't have to be the greatest. Now he's not the greatest, and Barkley can't really run the ball. And A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith look like ghosts out there. A.J. Brown, 2 catches for 7 yards. Devontae Smith, 2 catches for 29 yards. There's something broken about this team. And I don't know exactly what it is, if it's the offensive play calling or Jalen Hurts himself, but this is really bad. And both of Hurts' touchdown passes were like little pitches, like laterals, nothing crazy. Just kind of ridiculous that they're even winning these games. They're just somehow holding on. It's kind of like the Chiefs last couple of years where they get leads and then they're able to hold on and barely win. And then you're at the end of the game, you're like, how did they win again? That's exactly how it feels right now. But man, is it unhealthy. And I'm not so sure Jalen Hurts can throw the ball anymore, which is shocking because he had that season in 2022 where he was pretty good at throwing the ball, and now it just seems like he can't at all, or they don't trust him to. I mean, you can only imagine if they had like good quarterback play right now, what this team would be capable of. And it's not even like the line is bad. I mean, they have such a good pass blocking O-line, run blocking O-line. It's just really confusing. But they still put up 31 points. So it's kind of hard to get mad at them, but it's just such a weird game. To only have 130 passing yards, only have how many yards of total offense they have? Let's see. Yeah, 200 total yards. Like, it's so weird. It's just so odd. And for the Bucs, I mean, you start off the game just horridly, and then you get like 2 really long touchdowns with Ibuka, and then with what's his name? Oh yeah, my GOAT, Bucky Irving, got him on the fantasy team, so I was happy about that. Baker's just resilient. He threw that costly red zone interception that probably lost him the game. Ibuka showing out still. They got Godwin back. He made plays. It's not a horrible game for Tampa. I thought they showed resiliency. It's hard to beat the Eagles right now. They're still a good team, but in the long term, quite concerning for the Eagles. But yeah, they win 31-25. Let's see if I can actually get back to the games, but it won't let me. So I got to go all the way back out here. And okay. What other games do I want to talk about here? Let's talk about the Rams and Colts. Pretty good game. This was kind of going into it. I'm like, okay, the Colts have to win this. Or not, no, sorry, they don't have to win this, but if they want to prove to everybody that they are a legitimate contender, they have to win this game. Although, leaving this game, I still think they are a legitimate contender in the AFC. And I'm quite pleased by this performance. You only lose 27-20 against a Rams team who should have beat Philly last week. And by the way, I just think the margins in the league right now are so close at the top end. Like, Buffalo is probably the best right now, followed by the Eagles. But, like, it is really close in that top 10. It is quite close. So I think it's incredibly close right now. So for Daniel Jones and the Colts to only lose by 7, and they had it tied, and it took a Matthew Stafford bomb, 80-plus yard touchdown to win the game. And honestly, Daniel Jones should have had another passing touchdown, deep 80-yard bomb as well to Adonai Mitchell, but he fumbled the ball out of the back of the end zone. So it didn't count as a touchdown. It should have been. So, you could argue the Colts played good enough to beat the Rams. I thought they should have ran the ball more with Jonathan Taylor, especially early on. It felt like he wasn't really used like he had been the previous weeks. Daniel Jones did throw 2 picks, but still, I thought they played really well. And I think it proves that the Colts are here to stay, and they're not the 2024 Saints. I think they're genuinely a good team that could make some noise come playoff time. So both teams are 3-1 exiting that one. As far as any other games, we got to talk about the Ravens. Is it time to panic? It might be. They lose 37-20 against the Chiefs. Brutal performance by the Ravens. Just insanity. I don't think anybody in their wildest dreams thought this was a possibility, to be honest. I mean, the Chiefs, you can't ever count them out, but, like, guys. I mean, the Chiefs are not this good. I don't care what anybody says. They're not this good. But maybe, I mean, do we need to start talking about that the Ravens are just not good? Not a good football team? Lamar didn't play well, had less than 150 yards, had a pick that I didn't think was totally his fault. And then just Henry, he gets 8 carries, and I get it, you fall behind, and that's what's bound to happen. But I swear in all these games, it's like when they lose, it's because Henry didn't get enough carries, or they didn't run the ball enough. Like that 2020, it was either, I think it was 2023 or 2024 championship. It was 2023. The 2023 championship game against the Ravens, when Baltimore just didn't run the ball at all. And you left that game when the Chiefs won. It's shocked because you're like, how did the Ravens not win that? And you just look at the box score and you're like, man, they didn't run the ball at all. And very similar in this game. And I know it looks good because they had 17 carries for 166 yards, but that was because of a 71-yard touchdown by Hill, and Lamar ran the ball efficiently. But for Henry to only have 8 carries is malpractice. You cannot have that happen. It's just concerning. And most of all, it's concerning for their defense because, like the Giants defense kind of held Kansas City in check. And of course they get Worthy back, so that's a big addition, but still kind of concerning if you ask me. And it's just kind of like, what is going, like, I don't know. It's just like, it is just kind of scary at this point for the Ravens because now you're 1-3. The Steelers are 3-1 in your division. It's just kind of like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, you're letting this kind of slip, and that's a big problem. I don't really go from here. And for Kansas City, I mean, are you back? You might be. You get Worthy back. You lost him on like the first play in Brazil, so you haven't seen an offense at its full strength. They still can't run the ball for shit. Like, they suck running the ball. So that's kind of a problem. But, I mean, as long as you have Mahomes, he played really well in this game. And if Worthy can bring that spark that they've needed so desperately, and after, or I guess in week 7, they get Rice back, this offense could be firing on all cylinders. And that's why you just can never count out the Chiefs. I heard so much going into this week. Oh, the Chiefs are done. The Chiefs are done. They ain't going to even make the wild card. Now, the Chargers lose. And it's looking a little close now. And it's like, God, dude, why can't we not get rid of these guys? It's so annoying. And it's like they're going to go like 10-7 and beat the Bills in the AFC Championship again or something like that. And it's just ridiculous, but good for the Chiefs. You can never count them out, especially with Mahomes on the roster. All right, let's get to the let's see if I can open this up real quick. All right, let's get to the power rankings here. Let's see if I can move these ads. Probably copyright or something. This was last week's power rankings. Let's see what's changed. I honestly, it might be easier at this point to go from 10 to 1. It's so hard. Okay, no. We'll start at the top. I think the Bills maintain being number 1. They struggled a little bit against the Saints, but still, they won the game. They kind of put it away late. They're 4-0. I think they're at the top. And then followed by Philly, the other 4-0 team. I think they've just looked slightly worse than the Bills, and that offense is so concerning. I just struggle to I just think it's a little bit scary what's happening in Philly right now, but they're still 4-0, so I feel like you got to put them at 2. Chargers at 3 is devastating. I just don't see how that's the case anymore. I'm just going to put them down here for now. We'll see if they cut back in. Right now, the third team, if you're looking at it, it's tough, but I don't know. Yeah. I think the third team's definitely in here somewhere. I'm just going to put the Rams there with Puka. I mean, Puka, I'm going to say it. Puka's the best wide receiver in football. I don't even think that's really a hot take. I just think it's true. I mean, he's so automatic. He doesn't really score touchdowns, but that's not all his fault. I mean, he could definitely win the Triple Crown this year for sure. It's just the touchdowns. He might not get the Triple Crown just because of the touchdowns, but I mean, he is such a good player. That offense is flying. That defense has playmakers on the edge and in the secondary. I really like what the Rams are about right now. So I got them at 3. At number 4, gets interesting here. I feel like you got to put the Lions there. As a Packers fan, it makes me so mad because, the Packers they dominated the Lions, and to see the Lions ahead of them at this point in the year is just so disappointing for the Packers after you dominate them. But I don't really know anywhere else that I could put them right now. They're firing on all cylinders. They beat the Browns, who just beat the Packers. It didn't look like the Browns defense stalled them at all. They look like the same old Lions we saw last year. And I think the whole coordinator thing has officially been blown out of proportion during week 1, and it shows now that was never a thing. It's about the players a lot more than it is about the coordinators at times. And I think that's a perfect example here. Lions at 4. Number 5 is where it gets interesting. I don't know, man. I'm looking across here. Who is it? I don't think any of these teams jump in. I know it's crazy, but I feel like the Colts are a top 5 team right now. And I get it, they lost, but now they're 3-1. That's still the same record as the Lions and the Rams, and they lost the Rams, so they're not ahead of them, but they played them really, really tight. And I think that's commendable, and I think they've earned this spot. And I think they're a real legitimate team, as I was saying earlier. Colts at 5, and number 6 is where it gets very interesting. Man. I think I'm going to put the Buccaneers at number 6. We'll move the Ravens down here for now. Yeah, but we'll just clear this out real quick. Let's clear this out. All right, Buccaneers at 6. They lost to Philly. They didn't look good early. I like what their offense has, though. Getting Ibuka is huge. He's such a good playmaker. Bucky Irving. And Baker's playing good. That costly turnover, but, it's a tough one. Just trying to make a play. And that's what you're going to get with Baker. He's going to make some plays. He's not going to make others. But, they battled again and could have won against the number 2 ranked team. I think that puts them firmly in the top 10 for sure. And at this point, a lot of teams are not playing that great. So, it's a tough one. It's very close right now. But I like the Bucs at 6. They're 3-1. No need to panic after that one. You just move on to their next game. At number 7, really, really tough here. Man. I'm not going to panic on the Chargers yet. I really like the Chargers. They were the number 3 team, I think. I had them. And, you move down a little bit to number 7, but I'm not going to panic on them. I think we've seen teams who can have off weeks and it's fine. You learn from it. You played in an environment that was hyped up to see a new quarterback. You didn't have a great day from Justin Herbert. That could be a problem moving forward, but I thought their defense played really well. And the Giants' defensive line is nothing to scoff at. And they can change games. So I'm not going to panic on the Chargers yet. I like them at number 7. Let's see. Man. Okay. And I don't even care if I get hate for this. Number 8, the Packers. I get it. I do. 2-1-1. It looks ugly. You lost the Browns. You tie against the Cowboys. I get it. But right now, like I said, not a lot of teams in the NFL playing supreme football. But I still think the Packers have a top 5 defense, and we've seen Jordan Love play really well this year. I think, to me, power rankings at times are a little too, overreactive. And with the Chargers and the Packers, I'm not going to overreact. I think they will right the ship, both of them. And I don't want to be too overreactive and drop them out of the top 10, but they certainly are not at the top. They are definitely at the bottom half. But it just comes down to there are certain teams down here that I think have an argument over them, but I'm not sure that I'm willing to do that at this point. At number 9, this is where it gets interesting. Very interesting. Man. I don't know. I'm tempted to put Seattle. Ooh, hold on. Ooh, I might have messed up here. Hold on. Oh, I feel like Kansas City creeping back up in here. I'm gonna put Kansas City at 9. Listen, I get it. They're 2-2, not the best record, but they just beat the Ravens by a ton. I think the Ravens drop out of the top 10 at this point. They're 1-3. You lost the Lions. You lost to the Chiefs pretty big. So I think the Chiefs at 9 is a good spot. I'm not gonna overreact and put them really high, but I think they're in the top 10 safely after being out last week. At number 10, to finish it out, a lot of teams that I'm looking at here. Washington, little shaky, but we haven't seen Jaden Daniels in a couple weeks. So I don't think I put him there yet, but I'm not going to panic on him. I think other arguments, the Broncos, they lost 2 games on field goals. They probably should have beat the Colts. And who else did they lose to a field goal on? I feel like the Chargers. So, I think the Broncos have an argument, but I'm not going to put them there. The Jaguars have a really good record, but again, I'm not sure they're top 10 worthy yet. None of these teams. The Steelers, 3-1. 3-1 Steelers. They beat the Vikings in London, but that defense does concern me a little bit. Not sure if I'm going to put them there. I think at number 10, I'm going to put the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to put the Seahawks at number 10. Their defense, playing really well. Should have beat the Cardinals by multiple scores. Kind of fumbled it a little bit there. Allowed them to get back in the game. But they were able to pull it out. And now they're 3-1. And I get it. The Niners beat them. But that was week 1. I think the offense is playing pretty well. And I think they deserve a spot in the top 10. So there you have it. You got the Bills at 1, Eagles 2, Rams 3, Lions 4, Colts 5, Bucks 6, Chargers 7, Packers 8, Chiefs 9, Seahawks 10. That is it for this week's power rankings. That's probably going to do it for me for the NFL. I'm probably going to make an episode about the upcoming NFL or MLB playoffs. Real excited for that one. Should be a good wild card round with some good matchups coming up. So I'll probably make that next. But yeah, that's it for the NFL episode. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's going on that I want to talk about. Really. Thoughts to Tyreek Hill. That injury looked pretty horrid in the Dolphins win 27-21 over the Jets. So hopefully he's all right. Did not look very good. And I think they said it's a dislocated knee. So hopefully he recovers. But yeah, just thinking about him. Hoping he's doing good. So yeah. There's that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, all those things. Check out TikTok, and have a great night.